But it is the youth unemployment rate that paints a particularly grim picture. That's at 15.2%, up more than 2% in a year.
What economists will tell you is that whenever you go through a really difficult period, the last thing to correct is unemployment.
Looking at the year to June, the youth rate for 15 to 19-year-olds has increased from a touch over 15% to close to 21%.
The government's plan to limit access to job seeker support for 18 and 19-year-olds has triggered concerns about rising poverty and hardship. The Greens say there aren't enough jobs available for the more than 4,000 teenagers expected to become ineligible. But the Prime Minister says he's determined to curb benefit dependency.
It was probably more like towards year 10, 11 when getting a job really kind of hit me, like the thought of it. Like the last 2.5 years, it's been like, oh, you know, I probably should get a job, you know, just earn some money for like uni, to buy a car or, you know, save up for something that I might want. But it's just, yeah, it's just so competitive. There's so many people applying to every job. So it's obviously, you know, it's going to be tricky and tough.
Yeah, I think one of the most significant groups of people who are impacted by any economic downturns are young people. So young people from age 15 to 24 years of age. And as you say, that's because of the nature of the jobs become more competitive, and those with more experience are likely to be favoured over those who may be fresh in entering the job market or fresh out of high school. So certainly I think that's the case, and what we're seeing here is that jobs are very competitive. I've certainly heard of positions that have had a significant amount of applications that are being received, and so with that then it makes it really challenging for young people to get a foot in the door and to get an entry into the job market. I think certainly it knocks your confidence down if you're just getting rejection after rejection, and with that comes a sense of questioning around purpose and direction and yeah, you know, big questions that can be faced. So yeah, I would say that it definitely does have an impact. Yeah, I think certainly from my experience of being in the youth work world, I have noticed that it has been a significant challenge, or it does put you a few steps back behind the rest if you don't have the stability of a safe, encouraging, you know, supportive home environment to be in, or if you know, you've left school early and there are limitations there, and extra support, wraparound support that's required for young people just to be able to take that next step forward. And I think mentorship is huge in being able to help young people take those steps, because if you don't have a supportive family, if you don't have parents who are able to help navigate or guide you through the process of getting a driver's license, or to help you know how to apply for a job, then yeah, it can certainly put you a step back. However, with that said, there's also exceptions to the rule as well.
I haven't actually gone to like a careers or like a job finder like at school, because first of all, school's like half an hour drive away from me, so this drives to Butlin is like an hour. So I'm assuming like most people or employers that go there would look for someone local for them, which wouldn't be local to me, so that'd be quite the travel, not fully beneficial for me. But I don't know what it's like because I've just not gone to them, but I'm sure it's decent because you get to build connections and you learn stuff, and yeah.
Back, if we're talking about 4 or 5 years ago, obviously that was in the middle of COVID, but at the end of those years, 2020, 2021, we were getting a lot of phone calls, a lot of people asking for school leavers, asking for those who want part-time jobs and things like that, because they had these roles available to them. We don't seem to have, we have the odd one here and there, but on the whole we don't get as many people approaching us as we did have back then, and I guess that's a sign of the times. And I'm also getting plenty of students coming in going, oh yeah, I've been applying for part-time jobs, you know, so we're sort of having conversations with year 12 students at the moment, and my question, so do you have a part-time job? Oh no, but I've been trying to get one. And that seems to be a lot more than perhaps what we've had in the past as well. You know, we've had occasions where we have been out and asked local employers, and you know, it's often the same thing. We don't have the time, we don't have the space, you know. And that would be great if we could get some people out there. To me, if you can have students out on, you know, internships, work experience, those sorts of things, people prepared to take them under their wings a lot more, then I think that would enable students to have a much better understanding of what's expected of them down the track, and that might help also the employers to take them on board and have a better understanding. And I think if there's a better, I don't know, integration of that, like probably countrywide, then that would be a better way for young people to perhaps get that foot in the door. And yeah.
So yeah, it's definitely not easy, but I've applied for a lot of places, and heaps of the time I don't even hear back from employers or people that sent out the requests or forms. So yeah.
I think the biggest problem is that their education isn't preparing them for the world of work. Because I used to work at the coalface, as it was, so I used to work with young people who were NEETs and get them into employment. And what the employers would tell me is that they're just not work ready. And what that meant was that they didn't have the employability skills that employers want. So they didn't have the teamwork, the communication skills, the positivity, just general work readiness, those creative thinking skills, problem solving skills that you need in any job. So what the employers are saying to me is, you know, we will train them on the technical stuff. Like, you know, we'll teach them how to use this piece of machinery or this piece of equipment or steps and processes, but we don't want to have to teach them how to show up on time. And so what we've been arguing is that our education system isn't preparing our young people for the world of work.
Yeah, I definitely think there should maybe be a system, because a lot of the time older people get jobs where they have like more experience, and it's like pretty demoralizing because I can't get the experience if I don't get hired. So they just keep gaining advantage over us students and young people who can't get that opportunity. So it's a bit unfair.
I don't feel that the government is really addressing it. I think that, you know, they're trying to use the carrot and stick approach. So we saw that today with their announcement.
Today, we can also announce that for those under the age of 25 who've been on a benefit for a year, worked with a job coach, then come off benefit into employment and remained off benefit for a year, there may be an eligible bonus payment of $1,000.
So any young person who's receiving support through the Ministry of Social Development's job coaching program can receive $1,000 if they remain in the employment placement for up to 12 months. So that's the carrot for the young people. But actually, through the work that we've done at YEA, when we've consulted with young people about what it is that will make them engage and stay in the world of work, is that their employer respects them, that they're receiving really good treatment, that they receive really good training, that they're shown a clear pathway within the organisation and potentially within the whole industry sector, so they can understand how they can evolve and develop and move on in their career. They want flexibility. You know, our young people are saying, you know, we don't see the dream of home ownership as a potential reality for us, so we're actually interested in work-life balance. We want to have social opportunities in the workplace. We want really clear communication from our employers. So what we'd like to see, instead of the government throwing, I guess, in theory, $4 million at these 4,000 young people, is actually investing that money in employers to support them to be good youth employers, so that there's a sustainable approach to this problem, as opposed to a stick and a carrot, which has been proven time and time again to fail. Like, when you look at youth employment, it touches on so many different things. It's not just like, you know, tweak this here and suddenly it's all okay. It's because there's so many different factors involved, right? So there's our young people being given the education, there's barriers being removed like driver licensing, and then there's employers being good youth employers, so that young people don't start a job and fall out a week later because they're being bullied in the workplace, right? So what we want to see is like changes within the education system, within schools and tertiary as well. We want vocational education to be more dynamic as well. So what we want to see is an education system that's really integrated, as I said earlier, like supports career learning for young people so that they're put, support on a good pathway. One of the things we haven't talked about are other factors like, transportation systems. So, if we had really good public transport in New Zealand, that would make jobs more accessible. We haven't talked about homelessness. Yeah, so we've got over 100,000 homeless people in Aotearoa and 5,000 have no shelter at all. And half of these stats are young people. So how you're supposed to find security, find a job, like find secure employment if you don't even have a home or stable home environment. Mental health is a huge problem for young people at the moment as well. We've got a mental health crisis as well. So it's like, so we need more investment to support young people's wellness. So like I said, there's so many pieces of the puzzle. It's not like there's just one thing that we can do. It's like we need to have a really clear overview of the system, the whole system, see what the opportunities are, where the weaknesses are, and fix it.
I know personally, post-COVID, or during COVID, sorry, I had a period, a few months of unemployment, and that was a challenging time. But I also know many young people in our community on the coast who have gone through it. So I think just knowing that it's not just it's a personal thing, but it's a reflection of the times that we're living in as well, just with a challenging economic climate and environment.
I think definitely getting some good people around you to support you, and to remember that actually because you're not being replied to does not necessarily mean that you aren't good enough. It just means that you're not the right person for that job.
There's definitely heaps of really great young people out there who really want that job and like really looking forward to the experience because they know they can prove it and they can prove themselves to other people working there that they would be a really great fit, but they just never got the opportunity to show themselves that they can show their potential and show how much they want it and they would deserve it. So a lot of people just never get those opportunities, so it's a bit unfair and unfortunate to us.